general networking, network fundamentals, switches. What is a switch? How does it work? Do I have a switch at home? That's what we want to discuss in this video. We'll start with a very simple definition. I really like that. I found it on a Cisco website some time ago. Switches create a network. Routers connect networks. That's a very nice definition. Switches allow you to connect your devices in a local area network. It means if you want to connect a PC to a printer, a PC to a laptop to a scanner, then you use a switch to create a local area network. If you want to connect two networks together, in most cases you need a router. And you all go, what do you mean in most cases? Well, because there are layer 3 switches, it is beyond our discussion here. For now, you should remember that a switch creates a network and a router connects the networks. I'll show you a picture now of a Netgear, a very popular unmanaged switch. We'll talk about that in a moment. A very popular switch. As you can see, we have 8 ports here. One more, that's an HP managed switch. I will explain you what the difference is. And a Cisco 2960. A few examples of network switches. Unfortunately, we have to get deeper this time and explain what an unmanaged and managed switch is, what a layer 3 switch is. It is really important because with routers, it's pretty easy. You go for ADSL cable, VDSL, then you compare the features, and that's pretty easy to decide which router you want. With switches, it's not that easy. You have to understand what the difference is. And, sometimes it can double your price. Sometimes, instead of paying £50, you will have to pay £300. Is it worth it? What you can see on the screen is a list of just groups of switches that you can group switches like that. The most important thing that you have to understand is a difference between an unmanaged and a managed switch. What do we mean by an unmanaged switch? It's a pretty cheap basic switching function. It means it's a plug and play device. You connect to your network, you forget about that. You all go, wow, that's great. It means we have to use unmanaged switches everywhere. That's awesome. I just connect and forget about that. Well, that is not true, really, because plug and play unmanaged means you don't know what's going on. In many cases, the only way to fix if something goes wrong with an unmanaged switch is to reboot it. That's the only way to fix it. When you have a managed switch, that's over here, it means that you can manage it, you can connect to it and see what's going on. What you have to remember, it's not only when something goes wrong. Do not assume that. It's not only when, oh, the internet is slow or I cannot send a file to the server. Not really. If you want to manage your switch, for instance, you want to check how many ports are active on your switch. Of course, you can go and check, but you have to take a piece of paper and write it all down and see, okay, what's going on. If you want to see what's going on your network, is this port really busy? Is the server really busy? That's when you need a managed switch. As you can see, layer 2 and layer 3. Layer 2, that's the OSI model, not sure if you remember. Layer 2, it means it cannot root. It is a layer 2 device. Layer 3 means that you can have a router as well. It means you can route between your, for instance, VLANs, virtual local area networks. The last thing I want to talk about is PoE, Power over Ethernet. This is important if you have some devices that you want to connect to a switch directly and you don't want to use a power supply. That's great. A lot of phones, IP phones, can be connected to a switch directly. A lot of IP cameras can be powered using this solution. And literally all you need is an Ethernet cable RJ45. You run it to your switch and it will deliver power and will allow you to send data. Okay, you say, okay, I understand that. I know what the difference is. How can I, okay, I need to buy something. I'm still confused. I always recommend you go to any website you want and browse. Just see what's available. It applies to routers, switches, access points, firewalls, whatever you want to buy. Be interested in that. See what's available, compare the prices. On many websites you will see not only, technical information, you will find definitions, you will find videos, you will find a phone number you can call up and ask, okay, I need this or that. I just opened broadbandbuyer.co.uk. No, they don't pay me to show you that. And I went for switches. How can you see which one is managed? Well, for me the easiest one is to sort it. I started with the lowest price. Of course it will be specified. Let's go for this one. I went for Linksys only to narrow it down. And it will tell you somewhere it's an unmanaged switch. Unmanaged. Here we go. Unmanaged switch. If it's a managed switch, it should be specified as well. And you can see probably when we go to £100, you will find managed switches in most cases. Let's take a look at this one. It is a PoE switch. But be very careful. Take a look. It's an 8-port switch, but they say this switch has got 4 PoE ports. They should be labeled. Take a look. The first 4 ports are PoE. Make sure you check that. I remember a few years ago I made a mistake like that. It's very easy to miss that. Sometimes they will not specify that on the first page. Okay, I still don't know if it's managed or unmanaged. Okay, just bear with me. The easiest way here is to go to specification. If you scroll down, you should see some information about management. Management. That's what you're after. If you see a sentence like that, if you see that a switch has a built-in web interface or allows you to use protocols like Telnet, SSH, then it is a managed switch. I'll show you a switch that I have here in my home network. That is an HP 2510. It's a fully managed switch. I can connect to it using HTTP. I can Telnet and SSH to it as well. I connect it using HTTP. It shows me a nice picture. That's the dashboard. And what you can read from here. First of all, you can see green ports are up. Very easy to check. And let's say I want to see what, and take a look, it will show you the description as well. If you put, can you see the phone? I can't do it at the same time. Yeah, you can change when you click on it. You can apply, disable ports, change settings, and so on. In the status, you can see port utilization. You can see, well, this network is not doing anything at the moment. You would see a blue bar, a blue graph here saying, oh, this port is doing something really stupid now. Be very careful. And log messages showing you what has been happening in the last X number of weeks and months. Of course, you can configure your switch here. For instance, let's say you want to change something under a port. Here we go. You go under this port, you double click, It will ask for a username and password because that is protected by me. Let me put it for you. Here we go. You can change the mode. For instance, if you want to hard code it, you can disable a port, give it a name. It all depends what the switch is capable of. Sometimes you can find more sophisticated features. You can apply quality of service policies and protect your switch. There are some security solutions as well. That's the main difference between an unmanaged and managed switch. The last one we have to answer, do I have a switch at home? Well, I'm pretty sure you know the answer to this question again. In most cases, you have a router with a built-in switch. To summarize, we discussed what a switch is. We discussed how does it work. And you know that in most cases, you have a router with a built-in switch at home. Thank you very much.